What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. No one commented on my last one, so I'm just going to kind of go off the dome here. And today's video, I want to talk about my investing journey and how I got to the place I am now. So it's been a long journey. I've learned a lot throughout the journey. I've also made a lot of mistakes, but I'll basically start. I basically started looking into investing or trading, I guess I'll say, the start of freshman year of my college life. So freshman year, I was actually into Forex, believe it or not, like everyone else. So I'd watch people like Nick Shawn, the daily moving average. I can't think of any more right now, but a lot of that. And, I would watch these strategies they did, and I'd see all this money they're making, which they probably actually weren't making, but I would follow that and just kind of believe that. I did a lot of like mock trading, like paper trading, not with actual money. I did trade with some actual money, but it was like $50 or something. And I think I do remember I made somewhat of a profit, like maybe I made $10 off that. But I'll throw up a screenshot. I was kind of trading just support and resistance that Nick Shawn was like teaching about. But I kind of phased out of that as I didn't see it as like a consistent growth thing for the future. So after that comes the summer after my freshman year, where I get a job at my university and I start working that, start making money there. And that's when I opened up a Robinhood account and I started, investing in quotes, I'll say. Basically, I started off doing like options, like I would buy like $10 options, stuff like that. I'll actually go back for a second. My second semester of freshman year, I started to buy options on Robinhood. So that's when I actually opened it. And I think the most I maybe bought a $30 option one day when Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, was speaking, when they have the interest rate decisions. And the market like shot up and I made like $70 off of that. So I bought the contract for like 30, sold it for 100. My adrenaline was through the roof. I was like in class refreshing my Robinhood, like holy shit, like I made $70. Like that's crazy. But after that, I was just buying like cheap options contracts. Like I had no strategy, just kind of guessing. So phase out of that. Then comes summer after freshman year. This is when I really actually started putting money in because I had a job. I want to say around this time I maybe had like a few grand in my Robinhood, and just over the summer I would save up more and put more into the market. At that time, I think I was into a lot of crypto and still some options, not as much. I would do like triple leverage ETFs. Like I was doing SVIX, which is a volatility leveraged fund. Terrible idea, but basically when volatility is low, it goes up, so it's like the reverse of the VIX. So I was in that. I was in like TQQQ back then. Excuse me, stuff like that. And I did actually make money off of that, but it was a uptrend market, whatever. I kind of phased out of that as I did more research, like on and on about how leverage ETFs aren't the end-all be-all, and I'll get to that at the end of my video, what I'm doing now, but I kind of phased out of that. I didn't want that much risk there on Robinhood, so let's kind of fast forward. Eventually, this maybe is a year, like sophomore, maybe my junior year, over this time I'm just saving up all my paychecks, putting it into Robinhood. I'm trying to spend as little as I can, but this is probably fast forward sophomore, maybe in between sophomore and my junior year, I actually get banned on Robinhood. So yeah, that happened. So I had to switch to Fidelity. I believe they don't tell you why you get banned. I don't know why, but I tried to get my account back. They didn't let me. I'm assuming it had something to do with crypto, how I was sending crypto from Kraken, which is a crypto exchange, to Robinhood, and they probably couldn't track the funds or something and thought I was doing something fishy. So I'm assuming that's why they banned me, but who knows? I got banned. I had to pay like $100 to transfer. I didn't have to sell all my stocks, but to transfer them to Fidelity, the account I opened, you have to pay $100, which is kind of crazy, but I did that. Transferred everything to Fidelity. At the same time, I was doing Fidelity, and this is last year now, 2025. actually end of 2024, I should say, I started doing crypto too. So I had Kraken, where I had some crypto holdings. I was holding things like AVAX, XLM, just random stuff like that, a little bit of ETH, whatever, Bitcoin, random stuff like that. I would say like 30% of my portfolio was in crypto at the time, maybe more, like 40-50, and then the other half was in Fidelity. So I had those two. I rode crypto up last year, mainly beginning of this year. Whenever it peaked, I wrote a lot of that up. I made some money on that. I'll throw up some Kraken screenshots. So I made some money off of that, and then I realized like crypto, or at least the coins I was investing in at the time, really had no future, so I sold a lot of that. Currently, I only hold Bitcoin ETF and a little bit of an Ethereum ETF. I also think Monero is a great crypto, but not really for investing, more for like anonymous use. I can make a whole video on that, just anti-government control, basically. Like long term, I think that'll be a good currency, not necessarily investment. But anyways, yeah, so I had this crypto I sold. I'm all in Fidelity now. I'm saving up all the money I can. I'm actually seeing it to, like, it starts compounding at this point, so I'm like really excited with that. I'll throw up some screenshots of my returns towards the end of the video when I get through all this. But so yeah, basically investing in Fidelity. I've moved on now to a strategy. I'll throw up some screenshots of, basically I did a lot of research, Reddit included, but a lot of research other places, where 2 times ETFs, at least the S&P, has actually outperformed just the regular S&P in its lifetime since like 1920 or something. So now I kind of have a hedge strategy where I'm in some 2 times leverage ETFs, which theoretically you could just hold and they're supposed to do better. But, you don't know if you'll get a period of 10, 20 years where they just stagnate. And if the S&P stagnates at the same level, say for 10 years, because it's leveraged, even just 2x, it'll go down over those 10 years. So yeah, long term it might perform better, but you might have 10, 20 year period where it doesn't. So I'm kind of hedged in this, where I'm invested like a little bit of my portfolio in the 2x leverage ETFs, but when they drop, when there's a big market drop like COVID, or I believe it was like 2022 when everything went down, I have a strategy where I'm just going to transfer from my regular S&P, like VOO, and I'm going to throw all that into the 2Xs when they're towards the bottom, based off some indicators and like some over a year period that I see the market crashing. So then I can really capitalize on the upside and hopefully negate some of my downside. But that's kind of my strategy now. I had an internship earlier this year from January to April, which I was getting paid, a lot better than my school job, so I was able to save a lot there too. So yeah, now I'm up to actually 67K. Last video I was 66K, went up like 1,000. I'll throw up a screenshot here. Let me see if I can find it myself. Of, my returns since I opened the Fidelity account. So I opened my individual taxable account on Fidelity August 29th, 2024. And then I opened my Roth with Fidelity, months later, May 1st, 2025. So my individual taxable account that I opened August 29th, 2024 to today, I'll throw up a screenshot, is up basically 95%. And that is the cumulative return, first day to today. And that's time weighted, so it does not take into account my deposits. Because if it did take into account my deposits, it'd be higher. So I want to give a transparent view here. It's time weighted. And then my Roth, which I opened May 1st, 2025, is already up 71%. Now, yes, the market is up a lot during this time, especially now. It's very high. But I believe this is, at least my individual, might be like double the market. Maybe not double, but it's definitely doing a lot better than just like the S&P. So I'm pretty proud of that. If you guys want a whole video on my strategy in detail, I can definitely do that. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, is my investing journey from, degenerate, how a lot of people start trading, thinking you're going to make it rich in Forex or something like that, to now actually being a more level-headed investor. Granted, I still do leveraged ETFs, but I personally, at my young age too, I'm 21, I'm fine with taking that risk, at least now. and I think it will pay off long term, as it has already a little bit. But, you know, it will be tough in the drawdowns because they will be higher than just regular VOO. But that's something I'm ready for and I've researched, and you should really only do this if you've researched this in depth. You know, I'm not a financial advisor, nothing like that. This isn't financial advice. It's just what I've been doing. But without further ado, that's really all I wanted to talk about in this video. It would help me a lot if you guys could drop a comment down below on what future videos you want to see. I'm thinking I might throw up some Apex gameplay in the background here that I'm going to record on my PC tonight. And hopefully the quality is a lot better than my last video. My last video was just clips on my PS4 from like years ago. So it was like 720p or something like that. Yeah, I don't think I'm that good either. Anyways, I guess you'll see in this gameplay. But drop a comment down below, like and subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, just ask me anything you guys want and I can make a video on it. But without further ado, I will see you guys in the next one.